is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness.
From an undisclosed location, deep in an occupied zone, you are listening to Covert Radio.
Why, hello, it is Covert Radio, and it is New Year's Eve. This is the last video of 2022. You know, I like to get you guys one more video in, just one more for the, I guess really has a farewell to 2022 and a hello to 2023, but I can say this, I'm really not that optimistic at all about 2023 coming in. I'm really not. We've had some really good videos in the past, the end of the year videos for Covert Radio, 2018. I think it was either, 2017 into 2018, I think was a banner year. That was a good video. You know, I was happy to do that one. I'm not really happy to do this one. I'm not. I've taken the last few weeks away from Covert Radio, even though I constantly am writing ideas for shows and everything. But I just haven't been able to pull myself up to the mic. I don't know. I have a very bad feeling this year, and I'm not optimistic at all. The name of this video is probably going to be something like, better it will not be in 2023. Better it will not be in 2023. Prepare. I really genuinely, I've tried to, is it me? Am I getting older? Is it just depression? Why do I feel so, I don't know if afraid is the right word, but it is something that is stirring inside of me. I really do feel like we're doomed. I really genuinely do. I don't feel optimistic because I honestly feel like not enough people care. I mean, we're dealing with a level of chess here that is being played by people who whittled the boards that we play on. They taught us chess. It's their game. And yes, you'll have every so many decades a great player that comes out of the ranks. And they are quickly consumed. They are quickly devoured, be it through, drugs or sex or money or, Andrew Tate is getting a taste of that right now. He's not in his Bugatti. Andrew Tate's not in his Bugatti for New Year's. No, he's not. He's sitting in a Romanian jail. And I think I'm going to do a video about that because I don't like Andrew Tate, but I do recognize that he is a shepherd for many people. And when they come after the shepherd and the flock has no more leader, they are ripe for the picking. And that's what I don't like. I understand why Andrew Tate is so popular. I get it. There's a lot of young men who are pissed off. It's the same reason Tommy Sotomayor was so popular, because there's a lot of young men who hate women. They don't understand women. No male has taught them the reality of what women need and want. So what they do is they navigate to men who have enough what's called fuck you money, or what appears to be enough money. And there's always going to be young, dumb girls who are enamored by money and cars. There are always going to be young, dumb girls. Always. It's similar to what the controllers, the same people that Kanye West talks about, which I'm praying for you, Kanye. And I could only wish to God that it's somehow in our nexus that we meet one day and have a conversation. That would be great. But these people understand the psyche of the youth so well that, that's why they've taken over the music business a long time ago. Anyone, like I've asked this question recently, and I'm dead serious about this. If the controllers would put a group of monkeys on a stage, I almost can guarantee you that there will still be young, dumb girls fainting and screaming when they come out onto the stage. There's something about the limelight. There's something about the stage that is almost like an aphrodisiac, a blinding aphrodisiac to a lot of young girls. You can put anything, anyone on that stage, and they're going to go into mind melt and scream and holler and throw clothes and yeah. And I really genuinely believe there could be a boy band of monkeys. And I'm saying literal monkeys, like literal monkeys. And these girls would still do the same thing. In the 80s, it was Bon Jovi and hair bands and Motley Crue, Girls Melted. 90s, the gangster rap, whatever, Biggie Smalls, landing girls like Faith Evans and Little Kim, man. Like, it didn't matter. That is, one eye's lazy, one eye's crazy. He's 400 pounds, like ugly as all get out. But hey, you know what I mean? He was Big Papa. You know what I'm saying? I know that goes far. He had a lot of swag and whatever, but just saying about that. I don't even know why I started talking about that, but we're doomed. And I genuinely believe that the lack of people caring, because either they're so drugged out of their minds with legal weaponized weed, or, the alcohol that is just destroyed so many people and families and children and lives. Like, that's constantly legal, but now you have weed to contend with. You have all the psychotropics and the pain medicine and now fentanyl. I figured this out the other day. Within a 2-block radius of me, well, there's actually one whole block where I live of people that have in that house has died from either heroin or fentanyl. So, yeah, you know what I mean? So you have that aspect of it. They don't have the wherewithal. They don't care. People don't care. That's why I'm saying we're doomed. They don't have the means. They don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the modus operandi. They have no urgency. They have no urgency of care whatsoever. There's no vexation. None. People do not have a foreboding fear of what's about to happen. They do not have a fear of what's coming. And I ask, why? I mean, why? Why am I here giving you my time? Trying to scream at the top of my lungs, please pay attention. You don't understand what's coming. And for those of you who do understand, you need to start shaking people out of their comas. And if you've ever considered a time of supporting Covert Radio and becoming a Patreon, you are going to need Covert Radio more in 2023 than you have ever needed me these entire last several years that I've been on YouTube. You're going to need me more this year. You're going to need my insight, the information, the guidance, the prayer, the light. You're going to need it more this year in 2023 than you've ever needed me. And if you have the means to do it as a gift to other people. You understand what I'm saying? If you have the means, become a supporter so that I can continue to do this more. You're giving a gift to other people. I don't know if you haven't, I don't know how old you are. If you haven't figured out that the only way you get is to give, I don't know. You've not really, I guess you've not tried it. Because once you try it, you understand, oh, now I feel better. Now I'm getting more. You know, it's almost like the scarcity, I blame dollar stores though for this like scarcity psychosis, hoarding and whatever else. People won't throw away pizza box. I mean, I know there's trauma tied to all this or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you have a shelf and it's filled with knickknacks, say you only have one shelf and that's it. Once you fill the shelf, that's it. That's it. There's no more knickknacks. So with that, there's no more need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, everything you've done in the past to get those knickknacks. It all disappears. But see, what people do is they're like, oh, no, I'll just build another shelf, or I'll use the floor as a shelf. I'll use that back bedroom as a shelf. And then they become hoarders. But if you give away, or you help, or you donate, or you sell everything on your shelf, or you keep half of it empty, you can always maintain it. You can always add to it. You're always going to have a shelf to lay your treasure on. But I don't understand why people don't care. Sometimes I believe that there's been, nobody has really had any life-changing disturbance because we're all pretty much okay. You're not going to starve. You're not going to freeze to death, even though that's happening. See what I mean? It's happening now in our lifetime. Where are we at? 30-some people have now frozen to death in Buffalo. Did you see the video that they keep scrubbing? You can't find it on the internet. The young black kids laughing, making a video laughing at the guy frozen dead on the street. It was his birthday. He was 56 years old. If it was a bunch of white kids, that video would be on the news every night. Just like the young black kids laughing and making fun of the person drowning a year or two ago. And I still have to get to that video of the reconfiguration of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the black experience. But we're not getting into that right now. I think you lack understanding, though. And obviously, that's why you're here at Covert Radio. I coined a syndrome about a year ago. I called it the Titanic syndrome. That's where you fail to realize that we're all on a sinking ship. And you're still eating, you're still sitting by the fire, you're listening to the string quartet play your favorite tune, laughing, crystal jingling, jangling, you got your best dress, your most precious jewels and jewelry, but you're on a sinking ship and you're going to die. There's been no life-changing disturbance yet. You felt a little bump in the last couple years. That's it. You lack spiritual tribulation. Not all of you, but there's not enough of you to change what's happening. That's why I will die holding this microphone. There should be a knot in your stomach. There should be a sickness in your stomach. And if there isn't, why don't you care? Don't you understand what's about to happen? I'm going to tell you something in 2023, and I do not want to make this long. It's after what? It's almost 20 to 11. We got less than an hour and a half of 2022, and I want to make sure this is encoded and uploaded before the end of 2022. But I'm going to tell you what we're going to see in 2023. And if there's one thing you know by listening to Covert Radio, is something I consistently say is, do you remember when I said, do you remember when I said, do you guys remember when I said, hey, when I said, do you remember that? Okay, so this is going to be another one of those. Maybe in the end of 2023, if the power grid is working or you're not in a martial law containment center somewhere and, with your government issued phone and digital ID from your Covert Radio. That's sci-fi, bro. That's just not even. Are you like see what I mean? You have no understanding of what's about to happen. 2023, we're going to see World War III. We're already in World War III. We've started in World War III by a disease from Wuhan, China. Right around the time that China went into their full launch of digital currency, the digital yuan. This is a coordinated attack, just like fentanyl, to destroy the young generation, just like the snowflakes, to destroy all fighting age men and women. And when you are a warrior or you do want to fight, you are told to run in red high heels as part of your training to be a Marine. We are in World War III, but it will be officially announced or it'll be so obvious they can't deny it anymore. The economy is going to collapse. It's also already started. Have you bought a dozen of eggs lately? $7 for a fucking dozen of eggs? This is just the start. 2023 didn't even start yet. Do you think it's going to get any better? The dollar is plummeting. The worthless piece of paper to which I had dreams about in the late 90s, early 2000s, of an invasion from Chinese soldiers while $20 bills were blowing around on the street, and I had no desire to bend over and pick it up because I knew that it wasn't worth anything. This was my dream. Right around 97, 98, somewhere in there. The dollar is becoming more worthless every day. 2023 will be officially completely removed as the reserve currency. OPEC has already basically started doing that. Then the Federal Reserve, which is not federal or a reserve, they're a money printing conglomeration of the controlling bankers who run the world. They will either be destroyed or they're going to be dismantled in a controlled implosion. And reasons for this will be they won't They weren't able to stop the big crash of 2023. They weren't able to stop the dollar's, worthlessness. They weren't able to stop in runaway inflation. No more quantitative easing. They're useless. Pointless, especially when the digital currency is launched, which is going to replace all of this. It's a means to an end. That's why they have to destroy all of it. That's what the Great Reset is, the mark of the beast. All of this is planned, all of it completely planned to usher in the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, which is the mark of the beast system. All central banks will be digital, all of them. I mean, they've already started. There's something like 18 countries right now who are already moving towards their digital currency. China was the leader in this, right here. Reuters. This is October the 13th, 2022. China's digital currency passes 100 billion yuan in spending. Shanghai, Reuters. Transactions using China's digital yuan surpassed 100 billion yuan as of August 31st, 2022. China's central bank said on Wednesday, as the country continues to roll out of a central bank digital currency. The spending involved 360 million transactions in pilot areas in 15 provinces and municipalities. The People's Bank of China said, adding that more than 5.6 million merchants could now accept payments with the digital currency. And on and on and on and on and on we go. Here, look at this headline right here. Do you see this? Bankman-Fried set to enter a not guilty plea in the FTX fraud case, and he will walk. The people who needed to get their money back, I assure you, got their money back. And the rest of the normie debt slaves paid. More corruption. This was an inside. As soon as it happened, I said it was an inside job. This was a pump and dump. Yeah. So China launched on a massive scale their digital currency in 2020, along with other things that were released in 2020. In China. I can't help but ask, why don't you care? Do you think it's not going to affect you? Look at this. It's official. The United States is developing a bank-to-bank digital currency. This was a few days ago, December the 15th, 2020, right there. Federal Reserve Bank of New York. While the world was busy watching the collapse of crypto exchange FTX, which was a completely orchestrated inside job from the elitists and the politicians who needed a pump and dump scheme to blame so that they could officially usher in a digital currency for the United States to accept, because we have to, this could never happen again. Wait till Bitcoin crashes, y'all. Bitcoin's never going to crash. Maybe it won't. I think it will, because they cannot have competition. Why do you think that they are hiring almost 90,000 new IRS agents? Why do you think that tomorrow all transactions of 600 and more are being reported to the IRS? So there goes your babysitting money. There goes your side hustles. There goes your eBay business, your reseller, your Amazon store. They are going to tax you to death. And if you don't comply, you will be put in debtor's prison. Right here. IRS to add 87,000 new agents. More crypto tax enforcement. Yeah. Along with everything else. There's not going to be any competition for the Federal Reserve digital currency. They can't have it. They can't have it because they can't control you if they can't shut your chip off. You understand that? What happens when they shut your chip off? What's going to happen? When cash is deemed illegal and they shut your chip off, then what? Because you made a post on some social media platform, because you spoke out at a school board meeting, because you spoke against a policy that's trying to be enacted in brainwashing your children in the public school system. Because you spoke up, now you're penalized. No food, no travel, no whatever they can do whatever they want. Just like they're doing now in China with your social credit score. I've been talking about this for 5 years. You're never going to need covert radio more than right now. Starting today for the rest of the foreseeable future until ID 2030, the internet ID, or whatever the hell is next, that they just keep unrolling while you're worrying about the dispensary, getting your drink on, WAP, and True fucking Freeman. While you're all consumed with that bullshit, they're stealing your future, your life, your money, and your freedom. You don't understand what's about to happen. The veil is crumbling. They are being, there's nothing left to hide. What do you think Jeffrey Epstein was? It's to normalize sex trafficking, which is why Andrew Tate was arrested. He's in a Romanian prison right now, and he's going to be for the next 30 days. I'm going to do a video about this coming up. These people are masters. And I have a message at the end of this video, which I'm not going to make much longer. I could talk and talk for the next 2 days straight, but please stay to the end of this video because I'm going to tell you something that is beyond any truth you've ever heard in your life. I'm going to tell you something. This past Christmas, a week or two ago, it made me realize that retail is also doomed. Retail is doomed. It's more than likely, maybe this upcoming year in maybe. Again, that's if the grid's on, if there's power. They're attacking substations constantly. The power grid is being attacked right now. They're normalizing that too. Have you seen that in the news constantly in the last 2 to 3 weeks about substations, power substations being attacked? Where no normal citizen has that type of knowledge. I'm going to hit that transformer over there, and then that way, nobody knows that. You have to have inside knowledge to successfully attack a power substation. They think you're stupid. If they can eke out one more retail year, which I highly doubt is going to happen, unless this year flies by too, because it doesn't even, it feels like Halloween just ended. Like we didn't even have Thanksgiving yet. Am I lying? What happened to Christmas? Where did Thanksgiving and Christmas go? Where did it all go? Just like in the Bible, it says in the final days, unless the days are shortened, there will be no man left to save. But I'm telling you something, retail is doomed very soon. And there's only going to be the government store of communist China. That's it. That's all we're going to have. Walmart. I promise you, 2023, we will see the big box stores after big box stores after big box store after retail chain after retail chain after mall after mall after mall after strip mall after shopping plaza. Gone, 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 disseminated, gone, destroyed, shut down. And the only thing that's going to be left are the Chinese communist discount dollar stores, which has subpar products made by literal slaves. Slaves making crap to sell to debt slaves. That's their dream system. So we'll have Walmart, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, maybe this one, maybe that one, but that's it. Listen to me. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes this Christmas. We are doomed. Let me tell you something. I felt so uncomfortable shopping this year. Like, listen to me. This is so uncharacteristic for me. I go, I talk, I'm out. I'm used to attention. I'm used to people coming up to me. Well, maybe not coming up to me, but I'm always friendly. I don't like to seem intimidating. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". I'm a big dude. Like, I'm always chatty. I'm nice. I talk to everyone. I smile purposefully. I compliment. Always. Always. I was raised that way. I was raised literally wearing suits at 7, 8, 9 years old. I used to wear Russian hats with big feathers in them. Like, there's pictures of me from the 70s with a trench coat on and, like, you know, I was a little showpiece. And for some reason, that's always carried with me my whole life. This is the first time ever I have felt so uncomfortable in public. I felt so uncomfortable shopping this year for Christmas. I took a young girl with me. She's 23. She works for me. And we went Christmas shopping 2 different times. I needed her input on some gifts for my wife, some gifts for my daughters. The first time we went was probably, I don't know, second week of December, a couple weeks ago. We went to one of my favorite malls. This is a higher end mall. They got Gucci and Nordstrom and Victoria's Secret. Macy's, Burberry, Coach. They have all the high end stores. Louis Vuitton, Tiffany, Michael Kors, all the high end stuff. And it's in a high end location. Very nice. They have the big train and the big trees. They had a lot of selfie stations set up with like big ornaments. It was nice, very nice, except if the mall was dead. This is the second week of December. I could count the people literally walking around. That isn't what irked me. That's not what shook me. Here's what happened. And that's not the only place we went. We went here, there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of strip mall areas and stuff like that. Specialty stores, stained glass. I love all kinds of stuff. But for the first time in my life, I didn't know how to act. I did not know how to act many, many, many times that night. And we went out twice. Here's what happened. It just occurred to me, this kid shook me out of my reality into his I think it was his. It could have been hers. But they shook me out of my tree into their little reality. And from that moment, I was shook. I had no idea who I was offending, I didn't know how to talk to people. Because listen, I have a tendency to call guys, like, I'll be like, oh, thank you, bro. You know what I mean? I'll be like, thanks, bro. Or dude. I say dude a lot. I say bro a lot. Young girls, I call them sweetheart a lot of times. Like if I'm shopping or doing something, a young girl's really helping me out or really nice to me, I'll say, maybe she's grabbing something, giving suggestions or whatever. I'm inclined to say things like, oh, thank you, sweetheart. Especially waitresses. Like, I have one rule. If I see the bottom of my glass, that's it. And I'm a great tipper, but that water can never be empty. When they're real nice, thank you, sweetheart, thank you. Hey, you guys need anything else? No, thank you, sweetheart. You know what I mean? That's me. But it occurred to me that the vast majority of retail, the vast majority, is dominated by liberal snowflakes. I noticed that this year. What I can tell you, these people are masters at blurring the lines of gender to a point of literal confusion. Like, because it was getting to a point I had no idea who I'm talking to. I'm like, just like, what the fuck is going on here? I forget what store it was. I think it was Victoria's Secret. And this person, I can't tell you definitively if it was a man, a woman, I don't know. They were so flamboyant and just so la 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 la, they'll be over here. Like, I am not exaggerating. Okay, well, if you guys need anything, just come right on. I'm not exaggerating. And I look at the girl I'm with. She's looking at me. She knows me. Like, you know what I mean? We spend a lot of time. She knows I'm freaking out, man. It's on the tip of my tongue. And I just, but see, that's her world. She lives in that world. Like, she's 23. So, I mean, she's part of it. You know what I mean? She's not part of it because she's a good girl. But she knows, like, you know what I mean? She has that kind of esoteric kind of finger on the pulse of that age. Like, she knows, but she also knows what I'm thinking. We're just looking at each other and I'm thinking, like, is this dude fucking trolling me? Like, is this a joke? Or, you know what I mean? I'm dressed normal. I have on some, nice clothes, but nothing that's going to say, I fly this flag. Nothing like that. Just normal clothes. I'm not identifying as anything. I'm not wearing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not I don't know. I'm not a retail, poster boy for like Nike or, I don't get into all that. I don't. I wear dark colors. I wear charcoal gray, black, oxblood. Like, those are almost everything I wear is either black, charcoal gray, deep burgundy, oxblood. Sometimes I'll wear a super deep navy, a deep purple, something like that. But I never wear name brands. You're never going to catch me unless it's my own company. I will. But other than that, I design dope shit for myself. But I mean, I just felt like I was being trolled. I didn't know how to act. And then I didn't, like, I'm starting to analyze everything I'm saying. Like, am I offending you? Am I like, hey, bro, oh, shit, I shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, I'm totally off my kilter. The retail business is dominated by liberal snowflakes. And again, they blur the lines. See, they also blur the lines of reality. And I'm going to explain that. There have been several times, not more than several. It was almost the norm. It was the normal scene. You have a young kid. They're wearing whatever with crazy colored hair. They're acting a certain way. and they have a fucking $1,000 iPhone with earpods glued to their body, literally. See what I mean about the kids? This is who they've gone after. Wearable tech is definitely going to be a thing. That's why they're elevating Elon Musk against, I'm not even getting into this because they have to get the Christian conservatives to think Elon Musk is one of them, or at least on their side, or at least in the middle. Because when he starts modifying and creating literal zombies with Neuralink and all the satanic biometric shit that he's going to be doing and does already. He let Trump back on Twitter, though. He's a good guy in my book. Every one of them are holding a phone with earpods in their hands, just about. And these controllers, these Satanists, they've immobilized an army of communists, of leftist communists that have predominantly taken a role in the service industry, be it retail, food service, whatever, all through society. That's what makes society, at the end of the day, that's why we have, a social structure similar to a village. It's just a bigger village. The baker, the candlestick maker, you know what I mean? It's just the malls, the shopping center. It's just an elevated version of the village. And every one of the village shops are now owned by communists, and they're worked by communists. And these kids are all fragile. They're all pale. They're all awkward, and they're off in their own world. They're holding these iPhones, they're holding tech, and they're literally off in their own world. The Satanists, the controllers, whatever you want to call them, they've created a culture. It is a culture. It's a religion to them. It's blindly followed by these mindless bots. Here's the crazy part that I've discerned in the last week or so. Because, again, I went out twice with her. These kids have such extreme levels of self-serving confirmation bias, which I've been talking about this for a long time. Cognitive bias, confirmation bias. Because while they're sitting there on their $1,000 iPhone asking you, can I help you? After acting bothered that they even have to be at a place at work with a $1,000 iPhone glued to their hands 24/7. Their self-serving confirmation bias is underlined and exacerbated by the social media inputs that they're on simultaneously. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's literally like living in two worlds simultaneously. And I've said this for years. I've talked about when these two worlds collide, and they're colliding. They're colliding right now. Because these young kids are sitting there relaying and broadcasting every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, what have you. They're broadcasting. They may even be live, recording it live, uploading it, broadcasting it into the Borg, while they're being constantly praised and reinforced by social media. That's what I'm talking about. Because no matter, you could be a cockroach collecting, blonde hair on Tuesday, pink on Wednesday, grass eating, ditch licking communist, and you will find your niche, your niche online. You will find it. You're going to find your tribe. You're going to find them, whether they're on Reddit or wherever they're at, on Twitter, on YouTube, on, Snapchat, whatever. They're out there. You found your own little tribe, and they constantly reinforce what you're doing. They constantly give you that confirmation bias. It's an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber. While at the same time, they're trying to say, do you need anything else? Let me put this in a bag. Can I help you with this? They're in two different worlds at the same time. And it occurred to me, I'm like, so out of all these people that I've seen these last two times going out, are any of these people MAGA people? Probably not. You understand what I'm saying? Are any of these people Christian conservatives? Probably not. Do you think a Christian conservative will say, God bless you, and hand you your coffee at Starbucks? No. They'd be fired, right? You see what's happened? Christian conservatives have been surrounded. They've been encamped in the country that they have created. The social structure, the design that they created. The constitutional republic. Not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. They've created it. Now, what's happened is it's been infiltrated. And there's people now that have made laws that say if you boycott Israel, you will no longer have any means to feed your family if you rely on government contracts. We've lost control of the United States to a group of satanic foreign agents who have worked for decades to lie, steal, manipulate, cheat, everything that they need to do, steal elections, whatever they need to do to solidify their positions of power. It's a concerted, concentrated effort, and they've done it. And they've reached out now into all facets of society. They're overthrowing morality. They're overthrowing morality. They're overthrowing sanity. They've overthrown it all, and they have their own army. They have their own army. And when they shut your chip off, these people are not going to serve you. They are not going to help you. They're not going to allow you to go into their dumpster. The reason that they're shutting down all of the stores, all of the, all of the retail is gone in 2023. They're going to make living in reality unbearable. Similar to my experience in the last couple weeks. Going shopping, just as something as simple that I used to, do you hear the fireworks or gunshots, whatever it is? Do you hear that? Something I enjoyed my whole life. They've made it unbearable for me. And I have a very firm grip on what's happening. I've endured a lot of shit in my life. I've suffered trauma. I've suffered control-induced mind control. I've been through it all. I have a great understanding of psychology, sociology, history, and they shook me. They got me shook this year. They're going to make living in reality unbearable so that they can then control you digitally. You will never unplug. Reality is a blur. It's a memory. Maybe I'll link Amelia the Amalgamation. Do you remember that story I created? Amalia the Amalgamation? Reality is a blur. It's a memory. They're blurring it right now. These kids can't even put their phone down for 5 minutes. They can't unplug. And they're going to soon make it so that you will not be able to unplug because your food delivered, your tech delivered, your medicine delivered. Everything you say, monitored. Your social media, monitored. Your credit is tied in to your social media and your purchases. It's all being fed into one database for one person. That's what ID 2030 is all about. And once they initialize the cashless system, that truly is it. And it's happening this year. What do you think social media is for? What do you think digital currency is really for? They're destroying reality before your very eyes. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until you fucking care. This is the last thing I'm going to say. This is my last words of 2022 to all of you. You want reality. You want truth. Here's truth like you've never heard it before. We are the working poor. We are the slave class of America. And they've been able to manipulate a lot of people of 400-year-old history, what a slave really is, what this really means, syntax, what's a man, what's a woman, all these arbitrary bullshit fucking things that don't matter at all. Because we're the working poor, we are the slave class of America. We will never, ever have anything change in our favor until we have a political presence and show political strength. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck because they know they have so many splinters in the minds of black men, black women, white women, South Americans, Eastern Asians, Irish, Italian, African. They've put so many splinters in our minds that they laugh. They're laughing at what I'm saying right now. They know that the pettiness of bullshit is always going to stop. We're always going to be eluded from having a real political presence in this country. And nothing is ever going to change without political strength. We could change our situation. We could change our lives, our freedom of speech, our constitutional rights, our employment, our minimum wage, whatever, our health care, whatever one you want to change could be changed literally overnight. If we could continue, if we could combine and have a political presence. If we could show political strength. You're going to need covert radio in 2023 like you've never needed me since the first time you've heard my voice. Because I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we never stop fighting. I will never stop exposing. I will never stop relaying, dissecting, and shining the light on these soulless, godless Satanists. I'm Covert Radio. Goodbye, 2022. Wishing you guys a happy new year for 2023. But I'm telling you, get ready. Let's get prepared. Become a Patreon. And let's fight for our lives because it really, truly matters. God bless all of you guys. I love you. Thank you for spending these last few minutes of 2022 with me. You guys take care. Have a good day.